In this video, I'm going to show you 4 exercises to help you improve your hand coordination at the piano. And the best part about these 4 exercises is whether you're a total beginner or more advanced, they're going to work great for you. And we're starting right now. Alright, so each one of these exercises is going to focus on a particular aspect of hand coordination. So the first exercise is going to focus on playing a chord and holding it in one hand while the other hand plays up and down the keyboard. This is super common when we're playing chords in one hand and a melody in the other hand, etc. Now the second exercise is going to focus on the hands playing in opposite directions, which again is very common in music. So for instance, the right hand playing up the keyboard, the left hand playing down the keyboard, or vice versa. The third exercise is going to focus on playing loud in one hand and then soft in the other hand, and vice versa. And then the last exercise is going to focus on playing different articulations in each hand. So for instance, the right hand playing staccato, so lifting and sort of bouncing on each note with that detached articulation, and the left hand playing legato, staying on the surface of the keys the whole time, and vice versa. Now, each one of these exercises can be transposed to any key, which is definitely something that I recommend. For the sake of this video, I'm going to demonstrate in C major for continuity purposes. Now, let's go ahead and look at the first exercise. So I'm going to first demonstrate this in a simple 5-finger C position, and then I'm going to demonstrate it using a full octave to demonstrate in a more advanced version of this scale. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be playing a C major chord in my left hand, and I'm going to be walking up and down the 5-finger scale in my right hand, which is going to look like this. Okay, so you can see that I'm holding that chord in my left hand and playing up and down the scale in my right hand. Now, a more advanced version of this would look something like this. And this is really good for coordination and focus because it's really easy to lose focus on that left hand while I'm playing up and down the keyboard. So this is really good for coordination. Now, if I was to switch those, the hands around, which of course is something you should definitely do, I could play a chord in my right hand. Up here, I'm playing the first inversion C chord, and play down in my left hand. Etc. Okay, so there's kind of different applications for that exercise, but it's definitely a really good exercise to do. Okay, so the second exercise is going to focus playing the hands in opposite directions. So, for instance, the right hand going up the keyboard, the left hand going down the keyboard, or vice versa. So for a simpler beginner exercise, I'm just, again, going to use a 5-finger C position in both hands, and I'm going to play them an octave, or 2 octaves apart, rather. And I'm going to start with both of my thumbs. So the right hand's going to be playing up the keyboard, and the left hand's going to be playing down the keyboard. It's going to look like this. And then I can do the opposite. I can start with both 5th fingers. And this is a really good exercise because a lot of times when we play scales, we play both hands in the same direction, up together or down together. And so this is really great for improving coordination. Now, for a more advanced version of this, I can start in a lower position with my left hand and a higher position in my right hand, where I'm going to play 2 octaves towards each other and then back. It's going to look like this. Then I could do the opposite. I could start in the center of the keyboard and play out and then back towards each other. And again, this is a really, really great exercise, one of my favorites. All right, so exercise number 3, we're going to focus on playing loudly in one hand and then soft in the other hand. So for our simple 5-finger position beginner exercise, again, I'm just going to be playing this 5-finger position, and I'm going to play a little bit lower on the keyboard, but you could really play it in any position on the keyboard. And I'm going to start by playing my right hand loudly and my left hand soft. And then I can do the opposite. So I'm now going to play my left hand loudly. Okay, and of course a more advanced version of this is going to be the same thing but across multiple octaves, which I'll just demonstrate part of here. Etc. Now I'm not going to go through that whole thing because I think you can kind of see the idea there. But again, this is really helpful because there's all kinds of situations in music where you're playing some sort of accompaniment pattern in the left hand that needs to be really soft, or you're playing some sort of melody then in the right hand which needs to be louder. And so this is really good for focus and coordination. Okay, so the last exercise that we're going to go through in this video is playing different articulations in each hand, which again is extremely common in really any musical style that you want to play. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by playing legato or smooth and connected in the left hand and staccato in the right hand. So again, for our beginner version of an exercise in a simple 5-finger scale, it's going to look like this. So you can see in my left hand, I'm not releasing the notes like I am in the right hand. I am hanging on to the note, staying in the surface of the key, and just sort of walking from one note to the next without releasing in between. Whereas the right hand, I'm sort of hopping on each note. And this is actually probably one of the most difficult things that I find in my own students. And of course, we can do the opposite then. We can play staccato in the left hand and legato in the right hand. Okay, and now for a more advanced version of this exercise, I can do that across multiple octaves, which would look like this. Etc. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to mention briefly is that once you've gone through all of these exercises and you can play them really confidently, especially in a bunch of keys, if not all of the keys, major and minor, then you can begin to combine the exercises together. So for instance, playing contrary motion while playing legato in one hand and staccato in the other one. And this is actually surprisingly difficult, but if you can really master it, you're going to really find that your hand coordination is going to increase and you're going to be able to play really complicated passages in music with a lot more ease. So I hope you guys found this information helpful and informative. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.